Are you secretly looking for the big internet marketing success shortcut? I say secretly because if you're even caught whispering the word shortcut in certain circles, you're treated like you're begging for a welfare handout or something. And then you're chastised and shunned like some pimply-faced teenager who had the gall to ask out the prom queen. I mean, what's so dang evil about a shortcut, for Pete's sake? Where would we be if it wasn't for shortcuts? Instead of taking days to deliver and respond to messages sent via horseback messenger, we can now send an email that reaches a person on the other side of the world in a matter of seconds. Instead of walking a mile to gather water from the stream, we turn on the faucet. Instead of traveling via horse and buggy, we board a plane, jetting at speeds of over 500 miles per hour. I mean, I say thank goodness for hardworking, industrious folks that turn up shortcuts. Can I get an amen? I mean, who was it exactly that said you should take the long way? And how does taking the long way around make any kind of sense? I mean, aren't we all pressed for time? Aren't we all under pressure to get our businesses off the ground quickly? I know I am. Take the long way. Get rich slow. Does it make sense to you? It doesn't to me. In fact, knowing what I know now, what I'm going to share with you in a sec, I say the biggest problem is that it takes too long for most folks to enjoy even the smallest tasty morsel of success online. So long that most give up. You know, it's heartbreaking, especially when I know there is a shortcut. A ginormous shortcut. And if I could ask you for a little leeway and an open mind, I'm going to share with you this shortcut that could very well lop off months and maybe even years on your journey to ultimate financial freedom. I'll reveal the shortcut for you right here in this video, but first, since I'm flying in the face of all this conventional take the slow boat to China wisdom, may I introduce Travis Sago. Travis Sago is from an itsy-bitsy town in Arkansas called Russellville. Russellville has a nuclear plant and a handful of chicken processing plants. They love high school football and root for the Razorbacks. Go Hogs. Travis loves his town, but it's not terribly exciting, and it's rare for a guy or gal to get ahead financially in his neck of the woods. His last job was working for a small family business that sold and serviced computer systems exclusively to restaurants. Travis worked for that family for almost 10 years. I say worked, but the truth is that they owned Travis's butt. He felt more like their personal slave than a human being. But after 10 years, his salary climbed from $17,000 a year to $60,000 a year, which was and still is a king's ransom in the tiny town of Russellville. And believe you me, the two owners weren't about to let Travis forget how generous they were. 60-hour to 70-hour work weeks were the norm, and if you worked less than 50 hours, you were a worthless slacker. No kidding. You might get a call at midnight, have to schlep out in the black of night, drive 2 hours in Lord knows what kind of weather, and repair a computer for a restaurant that was under contract, then drive back another couple hours. Which a fella can live with. You know, it's part of the job, right? Here's the part that gets your britches in a bunch. Do you think you'd maybe get the rest of the day off, or at least a couple hours to catch up on the sleep they made you miss? No way, Jose. And tisk tisk, shame on you for asking. Travis wouldn't even be able to tell you how many Friday nights the owners spent enjoying their kids at a football game while he was out making them up to $180 per hour driving all over Arkansas, while Travis's son waited at home patiently for daddy to come home. Truth be told, Travis is still a little ashamed to this day that his son was fast asleep many nights before he even got home. You know, Travis was the one making them rich, very rich. And yet there were months where he was lucky to get one whole weekend off. Did they care he never saw his son? Did they lose sleep because his wife was always a nervous wreck? Worried that he was driving too far on way too little sleep? Did they worry he missed almost every birthday, anniversary, and school event? No. They say they cared, but would they hire more help to offset the crazy workload? No again. Then around 2003, this overworked, tired computer tech discovered the internet. He saw the internet and the potential he could run some type of internet business as his ticket out of slavery hell. What really happened, and it's somewhat embarrassing for Travis, but what really happened was the internet darn near destroyed his marriage. Now remember, Travis was already working 60 to 70 hours a week, so he'd get up even earlier, start working, learning, and buying courses at about 4 a.m. before he had to rush off to the job by 8 a.m. Then he'd spend every spare moment on any part of the weekend he had left working on the business. He'd only occasionally take Sunday afternoon off if he wasn't working at the day job. 1 year later, give or take, Travis had made a few hundred measly dollars and spent thousands. He was further in the hole than when he started. But all wasn't lost. Oh no. He had gained a brand new, even grumpier disposition. His wife was absolutely miserable because she hardly ever saw him. And when she did, he was a terse, grumpy, worn-out old man at the age of 37. His wife, Jeannie, didn't even understand what the heck he was doing on the internet. And truth be known, that first year, Travis didn't either. For the first time as a man, he felt like crying. Now, men don't cry, right? No, men don't cry. Travis didn't either. But Jeannie cried. Jeannie cried a lot. His wife, the woman, the person he loved more than anything, was totally miserable. She tried to hide it, but Travis could tell when she'd been crying. But Travis, the man he was, never shed a tear. He did carry that always present, burning lump of self-disappointment in his throat. It would swell up every time he thought about how this wasn't the life he had ordered, the life he had promised his wife, his son, his family. And when that lump would swell, his eyes would burn. Oh God, how his eyes would burn. But he wouldn't cry. Something had to change though, and it had to change fast. It was desperation time, do or die time. Now, I don't know if you've ever visited Desperationville. I hope not, and Travis hopes not. He wouldn't wish it on his worst enemy. And that's one of the big reasons why we're talking today, because Travis wants to help shorten your road to success. He figures every second he can save you from roasting in hell like he did is a good one. Yeah? Because at this point, this is the point when most people just give in and resign themselves to a life of slavery. Then you know what happens all too often? They spend the rest of their lives numbing the pain with booze, drugs, Prozac, video games, and endless therapy sessions. I'll tell you, the guy that said you should get rich slow was one sick sucker. Anyway, you can guess, because I'm talking to you today, that Travis did in fact find his way out of hell. And I wish I could tell you some amazing, titillating story about the discovery he had. But even though his discovery isn't so astoundingly amazing, it'll be far more profitable for you because it's based on good old-fashioned common horse sense. So, picking the story back up, after experiencing some of the lowest lows Travis ever felt in his quest for financial freedom through his internet business, he decided to scrap everything he had done at this point on the internet and simply apply some gosh darn common sense. And an interesting thing happened. Things suddenly came into crystal clear view for him. Travis started to realize none of these things will make you money. None of these bring home the bacon. Now, you're probably shouting at me and Travis saying, that can't be true because you know a guy that made lots of money drop shipping, and you know lots of people making money with affiliate marketing. And maybe even you yourself have turned a few dollars using one or more of those. I feel ya. Travis thought the same thing. what Travis found out was that he was dead wrong. None of those things really make money. This is the illusion, the mist of confusion that makes our path to success so torturously long. It becomes a maze that most never find their way out of. And to really throw a monkey wrench into your noggin, all of those things can make you money, but not until you understand what Travis believes is the ultimate money-getting shortcut. To drive this point home, let me steal ruthlessly from Gary Halbert, the copywriting extraordinaire. You know how they say common sense ain't so common? Well, Gary had the type of quote-unquote common sense most just don't have, as evident in the short story I'm about to tell you. Gary used to ask, if you owned a hot dog stand and you could have just one advantage over your competition, what advantage would you want? Really think about this for a second. When Gary asked this, he got all kinds of answers. One guy said he wanted the best tasting hot dogs. One dude said he wanted the best location. Another said he'd want the best employees. Another guy said the best equipment that cooks hot dogs faster than any other guy. You know what Gary said? He said they were all wrong. Then it would be blackly silent as they all waited for Gary to speak. He'd say that if he could have just one advantage, it would be a starving crowd. See, it's people with wants, needs, and desires that ultimately pull out their wallets and purses, whip out their credit cards, and transfer that money to you. Here's a goofy example to illustrate. Picture 1,000 castaways who have been stranded on an island for a week, drinking nothing but coconut milk and eating crunchy insects for dessert. Tasty. How good of a salesperson would you have to be to sell a few hot dogs? Survey says not that great. You could be the worst salesman in the world, but guess what? You'd still sell out fast and furious. Now, contrast that picture with how most people feel when what they're trying to sell just won't sell. When the sales just refuse to come in. When it's like pulling teeth. They feel a little like they're trying to sell a pork sandwich to a Jewish vegetarian. If that's your experience, it does not have to be this way for you. Let's come back to Travis's story for a second. It starts to bloom and get way more exciting now. Because, as John Carlton says, life gets exciting when the money starts rolling in. And he wasn't fibbing. So now, Travis has got a whole new set of glasses. And he's looking at everything in terms of starving crowd this, starving crowd that. He realizes that his sister went from 0 to 500 to 1,000 a week in her fledgling daycare business. Not because she used some secret ad in the paper, or because she had a better concept than the other guy, or a better location. No, she had quick success because she had unknowingly tapped into the ultimate money-getting shortcut. She had quick success because in Travis's town, there's a huge starving crowd of moms and dads that want and need to have someone to care for their children while they're working at the nuclear plant or the Tyson chicken plant for slave wages. So one night, Travis decides to take a break and watch some BoobTube because his mind feels like it's literally going to burst with this newfound insight. And while watching TV, Travis found what was to be his first big success. Travis sees that Buy My Product guy, John Shear from Video Professor, and he thinks to himself that he must have a starving crowd. You know the guy, right? Travis had seen him 100 times and had never given him much thought. But that night, Travis thinks to himself, this internet and computer technology thing is really heating up. I bet you there are lots of people that want to learn and need to learn basic computer programs and getting around on the internet. Many have to learn in order to survive the job market. I wonder if I could get in on some of this. So, Travis did some digging around and found out that Video Professor has an affiliate program. And at the time, they're paying 25 smackaroos for every person that you get to take John up on his famous Try My Product offer, which was free except for shipping and handling. So Travis decides to write a couple articles do a couple ads, and decides to buy some traffic from good old Google and send them straight to his page. He wasn't expecting much, but then bam, his first $125 day. And Travis spent, best he can recall, about $25 in ad cost. He just kept thinking, I made $100. I made $100. I made $100 freaking bucks. Travis got in front of that starving crowd to the point where he was bringing in $300 a day pretty consistently. But more importantly, he kept coming across more and more and more starving crowds. And Travis couldn't tell you how amazed he was at how fast and furious the sales were coming in. It got to the point where Travis had to discipline himself to stop looking at his stats. He'd sit there like an idiot, hitting the refresh button and watching the sales numbers inflate. Thinking back to those days, he realizes that it was a pretty dumb waste of time when he should have been out there finding more starving crowds to make offers to. He was just so happy that he could finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. Travis even got in on the Hoodia rage, and there were days that he had already made more in his business before he even got into work than he'd make all day working for those slave drivers at his job. Also, around the same time, a little before actually, Travis discovered a really easy and simple way to get his ads on Google, Yahoo, and MSN for certain phrases for free. This was definitely a good discovery, but it was only when he combined this with his starving crowd mindset that Travis finally found the lasting success he was looking for. Once the popcorn started popping in his business, Jeannie named his little free ad discovery the bum marketing method because she thought it was so easy that Travis could take a literate bum off the street, take them to the public library, and have them earning a little money in no time. Travis even put up a little site and began to teach bum marketing free to folks that were living in the same slavery hell he was, and it's still going strong to this day. So at this point, Travis started funneling big money into his bank accounts to be used as his cushion for Freedom Day. Travis even had a special nickname for this quote-unquote big money. Any guesses? Travis probably wouldn't want me to tell you this because he usually doesn't swear, but I'll let you in on the secret. Travis used to call it FU money. And on a crisp, sunny winter morning, February 2006, Travis turned in his resignation with a big old silly grin on his face. Now, I could go on with all the exciting changes in Travis's life after that day. Most importantly, that look of respect in Jeannie's eyes and seeing the gleam come back when she looks at Travis is truly Travis's biggest joy of all. And his marriage is stronger than ever too. Not because of the money, but because Travis is truly his happy-go-lucky self again. And Jeannie's got her husband back. Travis got his sanity and self-respect back. But I won't go on because I think you get it and have your own exciting changes you'd like to make. I do want to share with you that the ultimate money-getting shortcut works for other people than just Travis.